Hello everyone, this is Sabine from Sabine Granston Health Coaching. I am a nutritionist and health coach and I specialize in fatigue and stress management. Today I want to talk to you about cravings and what you can do to combat the cravings. Now, I've had a few requests to come up with a blog or a video about cravings because during lockdown people told me that they had more cravings and they were so close to the fridge and there was a constant grazing going on. So they asked me, what can I do, Sabine, to combat those great cravings? Right, so we often talk about cakes and biscuits and sugary fizzy drinks as treats. But the truth is that those foods high in sugar trigger the same opioid receptors in the brain than the ones activated by certain drugs like cocaine and morphine. That is, scientifically proven, so I'm not making this up. So if you eat sugary foods often, you can create patterns of craving, binging, and withdrawal. So sugar has been shown to be highly addictive, and it contributes massively to obesity, inflammation, chronic diseases. So our brain is one of the most important survival organs. I'm sure you agree with me. And so once you give the brain like this sugary hit, it rewards us with the feel-good neurotransmitter dopamine. So that makes us feel really good. So that's what's happening. And then we could find ourselves in a bit of a vicious cycle. Food cravings are usually your body's way of telling you some really important information. And that's not just, I'm hungry. So whether you're craving sugary, salty or fatty foods, it's a signal of your body that your cells are crying out for some nutrition. So often we need to think about, what are we not eating? That's important. So there are two different types of cravings. So there's the real hunger. So you're on a very low calorie diet and you're not giving your body enough calories, really enough food. Or you're not giving it the right kind of food, so your body's crying out for certain minerals and vitamins, etc. So for example, not in all cases, but when you crave chocolate, that could potentially be a sign of magnesium deficiency in your body. It's not necessary in every case, but that could potentially be. So what can you do to combat those cravings? I've got 5 really good tips for you today. So number 1, a very good way to help your body have less cravings is to focus on, in your main meals, focus on good quality protein, good fats and fiber. Now, good quality protein, for example, eggs, poultry, fresh or tinned fish, lentils, peas, chickpeas, all sorts of other beans, etc., or in oats or quinoa. So you find they're quite high in protein. Good fats such as avocado, olive oil, or the omega-3 from the fish that you eat, nuts and seeds. So those are all foods high in the good fats. Or the fiber from lots of different kind of vegetables. All of those 3, the protein, the fats, the fiber, they keep you fuller for longer. So the energy is released slowly into your body and then you have less cravings. Because it could potentially be that your body's trying to tell you, I don't have enough of those 3. Give me more of those 3 and I will have less cravings. So tip number 2, find out the reason why. Why do you have the cravings? So do you eat when you're bored? Do you eat when you're angry, or do you eat when you're sad? And a very good way to find that out is by by writing a cravings mood diary, and for about 2 weeks. And it doesn't need to be anything fancy, literally just the date and how you felt and what you ate will do. Just jot it down in your phone. And this is a really good way for you to find out if you are mouth hungry or if you're stomach hungry. So if you could eat, for example, like a whole chicken breast and a big bunch of vegetables, then you're probably stomach hungry. But if you just fancy some biscuits and or packet of crisps, then your chances are high you're probably mouth hungry. So you can really get to the bottom of your cravings, of why you have those cravings, by writing this diary. And when you found the trigger, then find some alternatives. So you can be something really crazy. Come up with some crazy ideas and jot them all down. It can be something like training for a headstand. So if you start having cravings, I'm going to start training for a headstand. Or walking up and down the stairs counting backwards from 100, or dancing around in the most crazy way, without worrying about anyone watching. So write down as many as you can, and then have a look at your list and pick 5 of them that you can actually implement. That you can actually think, okay, I could do this in that moment when I do have the cravings. So, when you're on the way to the fridge or the secret stash of sweets and stuff, when you're on that way, then you just have those, a list of those 5. Or even like write them down, pick 5 that you can actually implement, write them on a list, stick them on the fridge, stick them on the, secret stash of sweets or salty snacks and stuff. So yeah, that is all. And another thing you could do is to get some new really nice smelling oils, so to distract you, like a vanilla oil or peppermint oil or citrusy oils. Smell them, and that can potentially interrupt that kind of pattern and distract you from the cravings. So it's really, really worth, taking some time and writing this diary, and then coming up with as many alternatives as possible, and then coming up with a list of 3 or 5 that can distract you. So, is it easy to write that food diary, etc.? It's as easy or as hard as you make it. Is it worth it? Yes. So tip number 3, drink a glass of water, because often when our bodies have cravings, it could mistake hunger for thirst. So drink a glass of water and see if that deals with the cravings. So drink at least 8 glasses of water a day. It's really, really important to rehydrate your body. So tip number 4, sleep. Sleep is very important. A lack of sleep, can lead to a hormone imbalance. So we have a hormone that's called ghrelin, and that's the hunger hormone that increases your appetite. So, and if you have a lack of sleep, then that increases in your body and you have more cravings. And also another hormone called leptin, and that when your brain reacts less to the signals that leptin is sending. Leptin is basically the fuel indicator. It indicates the body, am I full, or do I still need more food, etc. So an imbalance in the ghrelin and the leptin here. And, ghrelin increases your appetite when you don't have enough sleep, and leptin, the brain reacts less to leptin when it says, I'm full, because the brain's tired, quite literally, if you don't get enough sleep. So, go to bed a bit earlier, about, 10 minutes every night, just to get, so that you really get like an 8-hour sleep every night. And make sure that you have a dark and cold room. All of that really helps to have a better night's sleep. And reduce your exposure to the blue light of your phones, your computers, you know, all of those devices in the evening. Sort of have a cut-off time, you know, for yourself. Like, let's say 9 o'clock, no more phones, no more of the blue light. And, you know, light some candles to kind of represent that kind of feeling of, you know, when we're used to in the Paleolithic times, when we are used to, yeah, because I, anyway, you know, sit around a bonfire just to create that kind of light in the evening, just really dim the lights, etc. Then my tip number 5, do not go shopping hungry. That is really, really important, because really, you know, that is like going on a blind date, getting really drunk, and then waking up in the morning thinking, oh my God, what did I take home there? So it's like, you know, you go shopping hungry and you come home with the chocolates and the other sweets and the unhealthy snacks, really. So always have some nuts and fruits in your handbag, for example, or you know, have some healthier snack alternatives ready. So I used to sort of just stop buying the snacks. So if you don't have them at home, you can't eat them. And this has really, really helped me, you know, in sort of reducing the intake of those foods, really. Or just make your own. You know, I have a really nice recipe on my website. It's energy balls recipe. So I'm going to put a link to it under the video afterwards. So you can make your own little snacks that you really, and put all the stuff in that you really like. Yes, so those are my 5 tips on how to combat cravings. Let me know how you get on. Let me know if you tried any of them, and what of it has really helped, etc. And I'm looking forward to the next time. So see you then. Bye.